Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome in, welcome in. My name is Jerisa Lee. I am excited to do a day 4 and day 5 of the Wellness Work Builders Book Tour, where the work meets the world. Hopefully, you guys have had an opportunity to listen to the previous two or stop in on the previous two dates with Kanitra and Miss Deborah. Um, I'm gonna do a quick intro and then we will get right to it because I do not want to keep you guys here long. If you come in late, please hit the replay so you can get all of this good information. Welcome in, welcome in. So, my name is Jerisa Lee. I am the owner of Journey with J Lee Consulting. Um, where we focus on working with individuals or professionals with helping them move from stuck to unstoppable. Again, I want to welcome you to day 4 of the tour, and I am excited that you have joined us. I'm going to take just a few moments to see if anybody else join in before I keep going. So again, welcome in, welcome in. I'm super excited for you guys to be here. Um, yeah. All right. So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna do another intro for those that are just joining in. Um, okay, here we go. So my name is Joyce Lee. I am the owner and CEO of Journey with J Lee Consulting, where we help professionals move from stuck to unstoppable. Today on day 4, we will be talking about my journey to releasing the book, My Mind Unraveled. Right? So I'm very excited. I was very nervous because guess what? It is now my turn to be in the hot seat and be a little bit vulnerable and allow you guys into the background of me, who a lot of people typically do not get to see. So buckle up and get to know me a little bit better and my journey. I will give you a heads up that I will not be talking much about the book today. So if you are very interested in the book, My Mind Unraveled, please make sure that you tune in tomorrow where we will actually be getting into the nitty gritty of My Mind Unraveled. We will also be having a special guest who has volunteered to become vulnerable with everyone too, and kind of talk about her experience as she completed the journal prompts. We're not going to necessarily talk about what she specifically wrote, um, but more about what that process was for her and any barriers or things that she may have experienced as she was moving through that process. So, getting to know Jerisa Lee, or the journey to the unravel, my mind unraveled. So I want to start with when I typically meet with someone. Here's my spiel. Hello, my name is Joyce Lee. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I have been in the field for over a decade. I've had the opportunity to work with individuals from the age of 5 all the way to the age of 65. And I've worked in community settings, I worked in school settings, outpatient settings, I've been in people homes, and then I've also worked on military installations, right? So, this is the information that if you're meeting me, especially in um, the virtual setting of counseling, or if you might be asking some questions about me, that's probably the generic speech that you are going to get about me. But let's pull that back. Let's talk about what actually happens or what has been happening behind the scenes for me and the process that I've had to go through, the things and barriers that I had to unravel to get to be at a place to write this journal that's not only useful for myself, but others that maybe have similar experiences as me or may have different experiences but still could benefit from going through this process. So here's what I don't say, and here's what is not seen, right? Because when you look at me, some of the things that I'm going to say, you'd be like, oh, I would never would have guessed it, unless you've been along the journey and you've seen me in some of these spaces. So here's what I don't say. I don't say that I have experience with anxiety. I don't say that I have experience with depression. I don't say that I have experience with suicidal ideations. I don't talk about or disclose, unless it's appropriate, that I have anxiety and panic attacks, that I too have ruminating thoughts about conversations that I've had, about experiences that I had, and replaying them over and over and saying what I wish I would have said, what I wish I would have done, and it playing over and over. I'm losing sleep because I am ruminating. I don't talk about me hyping myself up when I have an experience and the thoughts that I tell myself to keep hyping myself up to get madder and madder and more frustrated and more frustrated. I don't talk about those things. I don't talk about the times that I've had struck when I wasn't able to control my emotions, right? Or I wasn't able to self-regulate when either I was passive aggressive or I was just flat out aggressive, right? I don't talk about those things. I don't talk about my struggles with body dysmorphia, self-esteem, and self-worth. These are the things that I haven't talked about publicly unless there's a one-on-one conversation or when I'm in these rooms. That is my journey. Everything I have listed, I've had to work through. I've had to come to some type of grips. I've had to learn techniques. I've had to use tools. I've had to sit on the couch. I've had to work through those things to be where I am. And I say that because with my book, My Mind Unraveled, as I transition into doing private practice and strangers are inviting me into their home because my private practice is virtual. So I'm being invited into people's homes or people's spaces. But they're also inviting me on their mental health journey, right? And everybody is in different spaces and stages of that, but I'm being invited in. My experience allows me to create, I feel like, a genuine safe environment because I have a lived experience of understanding some of the mental health that they may be struggling with. And although mine may not be the exact same scenario or the exact same situation, again, because I have my own lived experience, I understand. I truly understand, and it's not from the book knowledge that, I got in grad school. It's not from the ongoing required trainings that I have to attend. It's because of my own experience. So it allows me to show up, and again, it allows me to create a space. And so in these past couple of years, something that has happened and something that I've been noticing is, and part of it is because I do see a very subset of people, right? If you're in my, I'm gonna say, if you're on my screen, right, because it's virtual, it's probably because you too have a diagnosis of anxiety, depression, adjustment disorder. You probably have some type of history or trauma. Those are like my specialties. My specialty is dealing with relationships, right? And it can be a relationship with ourselves, which is the most important one. But how we deal with ourselves also impacts how we deal with our relationships with our partners, how we communicate and interact with our family, how we show up in friendships, but also how we show up at work. And so all of those categories are things that I typically end up discussing with my clients, right? And so again, because I'm working with a subset of individuals, I get to see and notice certain trends. And so some of the trends that I'm seeing is all around the self-esteem, the self-worth, the boundaries, the expectations, the core beliefs, and things that are keeping people stuck. And so one of the things that God has charged or instructed me to do is to be a resource, right? I'm only one person. I can only do so many one-to-ones. I can't reach everybody. I can't provide the information one-to-one to everybody. So I've been instructed that I need to create tools and resources and give people access to information that may can't afford or their insurance doesn't cover the one-to-one sessions, or again I'm not accessible because I'm only one person, and like right now my caseload is full. um so the only way I can take more people is if it's a direct referrals. Like I'm not like advertising and saying, hey, yep, I'm taking more people. But if you refer to me, I will absolutely get you in, right? So resources, being a resource, giving the information out. And if I don't know how long people have been following me, but if you haven't, please make sure that you are following me. I am Journey with Jay Lee across all platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. My website itself is scrolling across the bottom, but I kind of want to talk about some of the resources that has already been released. And I'm going to tell you, there's more resources coming. I don't know the when because I'm not rushing the process, right? I'm trusting. I'm being very strategic and listening and obeying and honoring and doing the things. But just in case you don't know, here are some other resources that are available. A lot of them are free, some of them are not. But here are some other resources that he has already instructed me to release. If you don't know, I have the Journey to Your Best Self. That's a 52-week journal prompt. This is the first thing that he had me to release. And ironically, how he had me release it was Facebook, Facebook and LinkedIn. Literally for a whole year, it was last year, literally for a whole year, every Sunday, I dropped a journal prompt, something to help journey to your best self, right? But it is available. If you go to my website and you subscribe to my email list, you actually get it for free. It is just the prompts. A journal, actual journal, may be coming. We'll see. I don't know, right? We also have the Unstoppable Voices. This is a monthly newsletter that is released on LinkedIn once a month. It's given tools, techniques, and things, right? So here's another resource that's available. We also have the language traps. If you true, this is the one for last month, but language traps is a live. Um, every fourth Wednesday of the month, I'm coming on and we're talking about language traps that's keeping you stuck. Because again, the goal is to become unstoppable. The goal is for you to be so secure with yourself that you are unstoppable, that you are achieving the things, you're not being held back by fear, right? Or anything that may be stopping you. You have the tools and the techniques that's going to get you through. Another resource that has been released is a four planner. This one's on my website. You have the four planner, but then you also have four of the journals broken up: the self care journal, the financial journal, the daily planner, right? Um, and then I hold a annual event called the Black Therapist Brunch. So as you guys can see, he's moving, he's telling me the things that I need to release. And every single one of these spaces has been created to be the resource, or a resource, not a resource, right? Because there's multiple resources out there. And sometimes we need multiple resources to make the progress that we need to make. So in this, like I was saying, I noticed the trends. And so one of the things that he had me do, well, the current thing that he had me to do is he said, I want you to create a journal because when I was in these sessions, I noticed that I was giving the same tool or the same ways to help them move and help the clients transition from, if you're having the same conversation over and over with the partner and it's like nothing's changing, we're talking here, a lot of us have conversations, we're mad, and so we bring up A and then the person brings up B, then we go to C, then we go to D, then we go to E, and then now there's this big explosion because we not every everyone's upset, and we haven't even addressed what was really the concern. And so we got that one. We got the ruminating thoughts where we're just sitting and thinking and overthinking and overthinking and overthinking, and there's no movement. We're just stuck in the thinking pattern, right? And another one is if you're feeling like you're unheard, you're trying to communicate, but your partner's not hearing you, family's not hearing you, work's not hearing you. What do we do? Again, you feeling stuck or you feeling lost. Anything, anytime, any interactions where you're feeling stuck, this book is for you. This journal is for you, right? So we have again, my mind unraveled, right? It is a very strategic, guided, intentional journal for individuals that are like how I used to be. I wasn't a journaler. I couldn't. I couldn't sit still long enough. I didn't know what to write. I felt like it had to be perfect. I felt like I had to be careful about what I wrote. What if somebody gets my journal? Oh no, right? So I was one of those like journaling, not doing it. It sounds good, but this again journal was created with the intentionality of there's a purpose. This is not a journal just to journal. This is I need I'm stuck and I want to do something different. I'm ready to go through the process to get a different result. So here we are. My mind unraveled, right? We are literally unraveling our minds. I've been through this again. I've given it to clients. I still give it to clients because it's a 4-step process. And so I tell them about it. And most people say it's very helpful. We also talk about the barriers, right? Because just because there's a tool that's introduced, it doesn't mean that it works the very first time. And so we have honest conversations about it, but it gets them moving. It gets them out of the rut. It start making little micro changes that turns into mini changes that turns into small changes that turns into large changes, right? And so we just got to be comfortable with taking that step. So I appreciate all of you guys tuning in and listening to how we got to me writing the journal, My Mind Unraveled. I hope there is something you've been able to take away from this. I hope you guys are excited about getting the book. If you haven't gotten the book, I guess I need to tell you where to get the book, right? So this book is available on my website. The website is scrolling across the bottom, http:// journeywithjaylee.kit.com. Once you get to my website, if you will scroll down to My Mind Unravel, you click on that, it will take you to another page and you hit buy, and you will then be taken to the page to actually buy the book. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in. I hope this has been helpful. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 6:30 for day 5, right? We're coming up on day 5. Let's pull back up, pull the wellness work picture back up. So we're going to be doing day 5. And like I said, we will have a special guest who will actually come on and talk to you guys about what it was like to go through this, because I feel like hearing someone else besides myself who wrote it to what their experience was will be very helpful in understanding what you will be getting yourself into, the work and the things that it may bring up for you. So again, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope to see each and every one of you guys tomorrow at 6:30 so we can learn more about the book. You guys have a wonderful evening.